Hi, everyone. It's Life and Vibe, otherwise known as Ray. And today, brother, what can I say? Sarasota Tim is finding that religion is going to be his bypass to actually having any accountability in his life. And so his spiritual narcissism is off the charts today, everybody. And I put him to an interesting speed of 1.65 just because we're going to try to get this done as fast as possible because it's a lot. And if you do happen to somehow like this type of content where we talk about how influencers try to hide their miscreant deeds with religion, then make sure to hit the likes and subscribes. And if you see that hype button, give me one of those. I really appreciate it. All right, Tim, tell us how Jesus is going to save you from a bad decision in court, and we'll make you big and me small. How about that? Let your narcissism shine through.
Different. I don't know what's going on, but there's some kind of change going on in my life. There's been a change actually evolving. Maybe I've been fighting it a little bit, but I think I'm seeing the clear light of day. And you're like, what are you talking about? I know. I said when I turned this camera on, I said, you know what, Tim? How are you going to be able to explain? And what are you going to say? I said, well, you know what? It's not live, so if it's stupid, I won't even post it. But I'm not unique as far as going through changes and thoughts and anxieties and happiness and joy and sadness and all the feelings and emotions that people go through. But what I have found that being a Christian, that most of all my life, actually, there was a time, I'll be honest with you.
He has really been pushing his Christian narrative out more than ever. At the time, he was getting his most amounts of money and being really successful. As far as the channel was concerned, and as far as his hustle of getting lots of money through his buy me a coffee, I troll him with my buy me a coffee. But sometimes that's humor is lost on people. But anyway, he was able to seemingly forgo the crushing it for Christ videos. Occasionally, he would do one of his paying it forwards. It's all performative for Tim. I'm sure every time he messed up in his marriages, all three of his wives and his children heard about this.
I picked up a book when I was married my fourth time. No, when I was married my last time, my third time.
Shocking. That's when he finds religion.
I got a book that I thought was about sales and how to manipulate people to get them to weigh you, to bring them on board to close a deal. That's what sales is. It's all about overcoming objections and closing the deal. But this book was a brainwashing book, and it actually dismissed mysticism. They included religion as mysticism. And for a very short time, I literally, after being born a Southern Baptist, raised, I should say, not born. I've been pretty much born one because my parents were one since I was born. But I dismissed God for a while. I literally denounced God and believed this book. And it was awful. And what happened was I finally woke up and I prayed on my knees. God forgave me. He forgave me pretty quick. Maybe he knew that I never really didn't believe. I don't know.
What is this story about? That you supposedly had a time where you broke from God and now you found God, and that was, Tim, this is not going to hide the fact that you need to go to court in April to answer to the things that you did on this platform that weren't very nice nor kind towards me as a creator and towards a lot of other people.
But there was a time I didn't. But most of my life, the only reason I'm saying that is most of my rest of my life, of my 67 years, I've been a Christian. And whether I've always acted like one or gone to church or drank alcohol or did different things or were less than kind to some people, that's just all part of life and being a human. And that's what being a Christian is. Not what being a Christian is, but that's what...
Not being a Southern Baptist. I mean, I'm not saying that Southern Baptists don't drink. I'm just saying that supposedly that's not part of their beliefs. They don't drink. I have some family members who are more devout Southern Baptists, and they genuinely have not drank in their lives anything alcoholic. They won't even go to weddings where there's alcohol served.
Believing in Christ's redemption is about is forgiveness and his grace. And so as we mature, just like when we become from children to adults.
I have a lot of family who are members of the Southern Baptist faith and very familiar with how they are very strict in their ways of their watching movies and what they will feel is not Christian or godly. Now, full of hypocrites, just like Tim. But it's funny that he's clinging to, the Southern Baptist faith when in reality for Tim, it's more prosperity gospel that he likes to follow. A lot of spiritual narcissism because it's all about Tim's joy and Tim's happiness and how God is protecting Tim, a lot of spiritual bypassing too. It's a way to not have any accountability. It says get out of free jail code for all his unscrupulous behaviors. Classic influencer pivot. Tim is the textbook.
Start being different and acting different. And it doesn't change when you're an adult. You go through different chapters in your life. Sometimes it could be a decade or decades of living the same way, being the same person. And then if you've always been a believer and God has a plan for your life to grow you and to elevate you, a lot of times he'll put you into a position that seems like punishment or loneliness or a solitude, but it's all about positioning you for the next elevation that he wants to take you to because he's got a plan for you. And the problem that happens is we delay that.
Did God have a plan for you to have to go to court in April? Just curious. Just asking. Just asking for a friend.
And what he wants to do in our life because we want to either please other people and we keep watering down our own growth and our friends disappear. People turn on us because they see a change in you that exposes what they gave up on long ago. And so every time you grow, you have to move forward and you have to let go of old things. And sometimes that's painful. painful. And
well, yeah, it must be painful, Tim. And maybe we need to bring this up now because there's been a lot of controversy recently around some demand letters that were, put up by another creator that were kind of a parody. But part of what this was from actually an account called Tim Tam. Actually, I should probably share the first part of the account so it looks a little bit more legitimate before I read this part. So this was from an account that was left on another creator's channel, and Miss Vicky saved these. It was from an account called Tim Tam 40, and it went on kind of asking not to be involved, stating this is Miss Tammy, not wanting to be involved in any of the stuff that's happening. She just wants to be left alone. Why are people slandering her, etc., etc., etc. And the most interesting part in this and sort of part of where Tim's facade of this good Christian man and so forth comes out. And like I said, this could just be somebody else using this is account name. It's been an account that's been around. If she deleted it at any time, somebody could easily come in and obviously pick that handle up if they knew that she had used it in the past, so on and so forth. But one of the things that they said is that, Tim had a habit of blocking people's phone numbers in her phone. And one of the things that she also mentioned is that he also deleted videos that I had made with him screaming at me. And the word she uses videos. And so if that were true, that she was trying to document Tim being mean or abusive toward her, does kind of help with the idea that I have that Tim is a bully because he and Chris Google Maps conspired to willfully have my channel taken off of YouTube. Now, you might think that Tim was within his right to go ahead and use those types of tactics, but in reality, that's not the case. Whether you're a supporter of Tim or not, there are certain laws, and Virginia has very strong ones.
Sometimes it's very uncomfortable. But when you're not aligned with certain things, anyway, I've got it in here. It's hard to tell you on the camera here, but a lot of evolution in 2 years, not just recently. I'm talking about for 2 years has been going on in my life. And for the most part, every time an elevation or growth is introduced in my life by God, I have...
You know what, Tim? There's only like 1, 2 happening at the moment.
2 hours later.
Because you just like talk so much and you're only like a little bit in your video in.
I think resisted it. I think I've tried to, stay where I was or what made other people happy, where it was comfortable. If I started sensing that other people were being uncomfortable with a different alignment and change that I was making, then I would, go back to those old voices. And finally, when God removes things from your life, as he's done many things in my life, people, places, and things, it wasn't always easy. I mean, I've always been a little stubborn. Maybe you're like that too. It just doesn't seem always to be that easy. And there always is pain before gain. So I'm seeing and feeling gain now. And I've talked about before on my videos how when you start to swim upriver, you're going to face opposition. A lot of people are like, hey, what are you doing? We're all going downriver. People don't like that. See, that's what I was just trying to say. People just don't like it. And
Tim's trying to tell the rest of us that Tim is the one who's progressing and everybody else is digressing. I digress. Whatever it is, Tim's trying to use all sorts of metaphors that he's swimming against the crowd. The crowd is going down, and Tim is always, the one who's coming out like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
Have to eschew people, places, and things from your life. And that's when you might feel a little lonely or solitude, or you've moved away from certain people, or they're moving away from you because you're not who you used to be, predictable, incorrigible, whatever. And anyway, I said all that to say this. I drank coffee this morning with no heavy whipping cream. I think that
predictable and incorrigible. That was a strange word combination. Not that I'm not tired and picking strange words myself.
Watched enough videos. I'm switching on you right now. I watched enough videos recently on both on the Bible and Christianity, but also on this diet. This thing I've been obsessed with for months now on trying to lose 10, 15 pounds, right? And I know a lot of you, made you crazy. He's on this carnivore. You need vegetables. You need this. You need that. That's crap. You're going to get a heart attack and too much of this and the heavy whipping cream. I've heard it all. And I guess I have ignored it, but I hear you. And I guess it does get down to a lot of gimmicks out there that you can't beat, science. I mean, it's
Tim, I'm just trying to figure out how we just moved from you and your relationship with God to your carnivore diet. Is this like the sort of tangent you're going to go off on this morning for 30 some minutes? What a way to burn up your subscribers' time.
Calories in, calories out, right? It's got to be a calorie deficit. Others say you don't got to count calories, just eat meat, butter, and eggs, and and it's worked. I feel better, and I did lose some weight. But this visceral fat that's around the organs and the liver, that's a stubborn fat, it can be removed relatively easy if you do the right thing, according to what they say on.
I'm going to move you on a little bit from this conversation, Tim. Don't feel insulted.
It's a little bump. It's not a beer belly. It's not a pot belly, but it doesn't match the rest of me, and I want to fix it. So I said, all right, no more heavy whipping cream. And while I know that
you should thank me, I had you have to not see Tim show his belly. So that should be good.
Meat, butter, and eggs on the carnivore diet is definitely all protein and zero carb, basically. I'm going to introduce what I've been listening to on YouTube, and that is some salads and some beans or some colorful vegetables,
all right,
like peppers and carrots.
All
and
right,
things like
Tim.
That.
We've told you that forever because you obviously need to make sure you're eating healthfully. Yeah, there we go. Tim's showing a salad. Speed it along, Tim.
And I'll eat my steak. And, maybe I'll introduce a sweet potato. And then, of course, some other vegetables. And I know fruits. If you eat a bunch of them, like bananas and everything else, they can blow you up. But I want to introduce a couple of fruits, So fruits, vegetables, the Mediterranean type.
Are you realizing at 67 years old, a balanced diet should contain fruits and vegetables along with your meats? These videos are for educational information purposes only. Though I am a registered nurse in the United States, I do not treat or diagnose anybody who's as chaotic as Sarasota Tim.
Diet. Some of you are out there going, yay, he finally gets it. Other ones are out there going to disown me. Oh, this guy. It's carnivore, baby. Meat, butter, and eggs. Meat. Well, meat isn't going anywhere because I love it. Hamburgers and steaks are going to be...
Okay, we're speeding you along, Tim.
Green tea. It's still got some caffeine in it. And maybe it's got a lot of antioxidants or something they talk about, whatever these words are. So
I sped you along because you talked about something for 3 or 4 minutes that you will be back to having coffee and heavy whipping cream in about 2 days because you hate black coffee and you're going to freaking hate green tea.
between, years ago, when I was very, very solitude and solo, I spent, believe it or not, I spent hours every week, probably more than I worked, reading my Bible, watching Charles Stanley on YouTube, other.
Well, there was a very difficult way to not do anything more than you worked, Tim, because you only worked a few hours a day, a couple hours a week. Or a couple of days a week. Sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm getting tired. But yeah, Tim, you shirked work all the time. So you sit around, narcissistically reading a Bible and trying to figure out how it made your life better. Yeah, that sounds like it's on brand for you, Tim.
Andrew Womack and other preachers teach the Word of God. I read the Bible. I would read it in the easy to read English versions, and I have quite a bit of knowledge and memory.
Well, you have to do the easy to read versions, Tim. I don't want to be harsh, but you left school really early. I think some of those bigger words you may struggle with and potentially reading, but I don't want to say that. That would be mean. He does read, obviously. Just joking around, guys.
Like I can recall, if you want to talk about the Bible, throughout almost any of the New Testament and some of the Old Testament, I'm knowledgeable. I'm following. I can follow you. I know the parables. I know the stories. I know all the 4 Gospels. I'm like a lot of you. I'm knowledgeable of God.
Many of us who were raised in Christian families and households and were confirmed in the church, Tim, depending on whichever branch of Christianity you happen to find yourself in growing up. Me, it was the Church of England. Would probably know most of those stories, Tim. Just was a much more commonplace thing for us to attend church and to hear about those stories. World's a very different place now, but for some, they're still very active in their religion. Tim doesn't actually go to church. Tim just acts like he's a preacher and you should be listening to him. And, he's a white old man standing in a trailer over here. So he's a face and voice of authority, pretty much.
God, Jesus, the Bible, and what it says. Because I spent a lot of time in studying it. Just like if you went to law school or medical school and you had to study because you had to get your license. Well, I kind of got into it because.
Had to study. Well, of course you have to study when you go to medical school, Tim. Take it from somebody who's a medical professional. If you don't read and study, you're going to fail your exams. And nobody wants the professional who failed their exams. What are you talking about? Just tell you, it's just 31 minutes of stream of consciousness. I'm a good Christian. Whatever, Tim. You're not a good Christian. Okay? Just get over it.
He always helped me. He was always there and made miracles happen in my life, especially when I had my own business and I had to go out on my own.
That's Christian magical thinking. And anybody who were to put forth effort and go out and do stuff, that's just your work paying off, Tim. That's not how you use God in your life, from what I understood. Just, oh, for goodness. It's the spiritual narcissism. That's what I'm just trying to say. So, Tim's getting miracles. Well, we'll see how your miracles happen in April.
With nobody grabbing me by my hand and pulling me out the door. I had to get in my car, go out, knock on doors. I had to go out, get accounts with different automotive centers to get contracts to go out and do what I wanted to do and promise them I'd go out and advertise and represent them. And that's been my calling. And God has opened those doors for me.
What do you think the rest of us adults do? Have our parents come in and do our jobs for us? It always amazes me. Like, this guy thinks it's so incredible that he managed to put himself out a couple of days a week, a few hours a day, as if it was absolute, just like God miracle that happened. In reality, he just did what the rest of us just do all the time. Get ourselves up, dressed, out of the bed and out the door. Go to our jobs, or a complete entire passive, higher education, right up to the degree and licensure levels.
for many, many years, and it's done so much in my life. And then let's go to the other side of the story. There's been times in my life where I got involved with certain people, certain relationships, and they weren't on the same alignment as me. And so I aligned myself with them, and that stopped my growth and was a distraction from new heights.
You know what? You need to stop trying to say that Tammy is why you didn't grow. Okay? You need to learn how to take some actual accountability. I think that is your biggest problem, Tim. Your lack of accountability is going to be your biggest downfall, sir.
New levels of what God wanted to do through me for him. And we have choices. We absolutely do. God does not come down, grab you by your shirt, and shake you.
Sorry. And if you're trying to imply that this YouTube channel is some sort of like God speaking through you or something of that nature, oh, come on, Tim. You know better than that. I hope you don't think you're conning anybody with that nonsense.
He can make things happen in your life to kind of get your attention. And he's done that to me. But because he loves us. But he does give us free will, free choice. And that's why so many people are chasing their tail and are lost, because faith comes from the word of God. Remember that. The word of God is the Bible. If you don't read his word and where he can speak to you and the Holy Spirit gives you your mind, and if you plant seeds in a garden, don't water it, you don't get anything. Okay, nothing. Just think of these easy analogies. If you don't ever open the book, the best-selling book in the history of the world, the Holy Bible, if you don't get in there and read it, then you don't have faith. And without faith, you got nothing. If you're expecting something to happen and then you'll have faith, nothing's ever going to happen for you. You have to have faith. And
yeah, Tim's trying to buy probably and bring out a lot of faith coming up. He's got a tough month coming up, guys. He's going to be doing a heavy, hardcore amount of praying. Just be prepared.
Lots of faith. And sometimes I'm weak, like anybody. But I can tell you right now, I woke up this morning because I've been going through, not the last few days, not the last month, but maybe in the last period of several months in my life, it really started to squeeze. And God said, okay, I got him. He's alone. He's doing this. He's thinking on me. And then what I've been watching is, I know he's been putting my eyeballs on it, is he's teaching me that what you're going through and these feelings, don't give up. It's not like I've abandoned you. I'm preparing you. And so I'm expecting now another great soaring of excitement in my life. I don't mean financially or with YouTube or any specific thing. I'm talking about peace, joy, and happiness, and living a life for God.
What life for God have you been living, Tim? You know what? I think God has something to say.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I think if they really could, they would want to say that to you, because I think you're just doing some spiritual narcissism here. Just, oh my goodness, Tim.
To do what I can for him, living through me, to lift up others as well as lifting up myself. So it's just a little encouragement that I wanted to make a little video and say, it's difficult.
A little encouragement to make a little video. Last time you brought your Crushing It for Christ out, you were calling me evil, Tim.
Sometimes when your mind is divided to, force things when you make videos and you're trying to talk about this or that or rehash something or repeat something you've said already. And that's not a problem. Many YouTubers out there say the same thing on every video because that's their shtick.
Yeah, but YouTube is going to flag your content for repetition. And that's not good for you. Well, it's good for the rest of us.
and I've got a shtick, it just kind of comes. That's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be Tim. But when your mind's divided and you're going through a change in life, I think people can probably tell that something's not, right. I know I can tell. So today is the day that.
Well, that's because you don't like to really be honest with your audience, and people maybe have come behind the scenes and said, hey, someone's saying that they are taking you to court and you were process served. And I have showed the letter that you sent me. That was a motion to dismiss. I'm sorry. Tim is not a legal mastermind, and he's too cheap to pay for an attorney. And it's apparent. And this is actually a pretty big case, much bigger than I've, kind of said, because there's been some changes and amendments. But yeah, and Tim is just going to be praying, and I don't think that's going to be the answer. And I don't think he's trying to be stealth, that he's got this hidden legal defense team. I think Tim seriously is just too cheap to want to pay for that. I think he thinks he's going to be able to argue his way out of this and uses sales manipulation tactics, and it's not going to work in a court of law, which likes to follow procedure.
I'm taking my studies to more of a serious level, my prayers, and like this morning I've done 100 push-ups already. I never want to stop that. It feels so good. I'm so strong now in push-ups that I can do so many without getting tired.
And I don't want to stop so quickly again, but how can you move from talking about studying the scriptures in the Bible to your push-ups? This is the sort of just strange mental things that your brain is all over the place, Tim.
And do these multiple sets. I mean, I'm still like doing 25 or 30 because I'm doing real push-ups now. I'm not doing those little pumps. Okay, I gave up on that actually pretty quickly because I started gaining strength in my pec area and deltoids to where and even though I have a bad rotator cuff, I have to position my arm in a certain way.
Oh, he thinks that's funny because people corrected him and said it's cuff, and he probably didn't really know and thought it was called cup. So now he's trying to play it off as a folksy mistake because, you know, Tim is such an affable, likable chap. Not from supposedly Miss Tammy having many a video of you screaming. That's bad, Tim, if you're deleting somebody's videos. You don't have permission. See, you are a big old bad bully. If that story is true. We just don't know. We don't know if that's really Miss Tammy.
And the first set, I got to go easy to kind of get it warmed up. But I notice that I'm growing. And now I notice I'm growing with my Christianity in my mind, and my peace and joy is returning to me. And I've let things go. I've let things go that I've been holding on to, but new revelations have revealed that it's the best. So
really, Tim? You're just, oh, brother.
Things, people, and places, I'm moving forward. And it's not that they are evil. It's just they're not on the same alignment as me. And I can't water down my...
Who are you talking about? JJ now? I mean, he is talking about everybody at this point. But Tim, of course, he's above the fray. He's above it all. He's so much better than everybody else. He's just such a good Christian. I said nobody. Except for Tim, of course. Only you, Tim. Only in your mind.
Life or what I believe and what I want to do to please everybody else. And if you're aligned with someone in your life or places you go, that's good. Your church, your relationship with your children, and what you're doing health-wise. And
there's like a bunch of stuff that you've never had in your life. Church, children, relationships. I mean, you've had them, but you just don't like to have them around you. Just the garbage that comes out is awesome. And the health. That's another thing. The man who, I mean, Americans don't have health insurance because they just literally can't afford it now. Tim probably had it at reasonable prices, but just never pay for it.
with your finances, then, you keep doing you keep doing it. But when you're out of alignment, you got to make some changes, or things are going to get not so good. I was going to make a video too. I was watching another financial guy. I watch him sometimes. I used to watch him a lot more. And he was, the reason I like to check in with him is he actually gives you what you would call the truth versus what the media will tell you regarding our country and our finances and our state. And yesterday...
Okay, are you finished with trying to tell me you're a good Christian and you're just going to start talking about the economy now because we're looping around everywhere? And I don't think I need to do all that. And, I think Jesus, already saw you. And I don't think we need to make this video any longer. All right, guys, if you did happen to like me commenting on Tim's Christian cosplaying, make sure to leave a, I'm trying to think of something that would be a good emoji in the chat. You could just leave me a little heart, just a little heart. It could be any, little heart, a red heart to show me that you got this far and that the message of joy and positivity and all of that made you feel convinced that Sarasota Tim is a really good Christian. All right, guys. Hope to like this video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Life and Vibe, thanks so much. My queen, my Sarasota Tim expert.